Stop running ads. And I don't mean forever, but I mean just for now, because currently I imagine you're throwing money away and we don't want to do that. I know you probably are because I've done it. I spent about a year, maybe not quite so long, but 6 months of running ads and not converting those leads that were coming through, doing some all right creative, spending some money, but just not getting the end result. I have changed a lot of things over the last 18 months while running my property coaching business, which now can do around £40,000 a month. I'm here to help you start running ads properly, or at least not just think about the ad, which is the crucial part to this. So I'll take you back when I started running ads for my property coaching course. I created some nice creative. I watched all the videos that the Alex Hormozis and James Smiths did, and I tried to implement what they did, but ad specific. And this is really crucial when we're looking at advertising, is not just looking at the one thing. So I was looking at the ads, I was trying to create the nice creative. I had someone that helped me do a little bit of the media buying, set up the pixels, and then it just went into sort of nothing. And that was the problem, or one of the problems. And then the other problem was anybody that did turn up would turn up completely cold. They'd turn up having just seen my video, which was okay, but then have no idea about who I was, what we were really doing, and why they were even really there. And I suppose in hindsight, that makes sense. Why would you know much about me or it or anything from a 30-second Facebook ad? At the time, I was probably still a bit green and naive to it, so I just tried to change the ad spend. I thought, oh, spend a bit more money, that'll do it. Or change the creative a little bit, and it didn't quite work. And I was just working with one media buyer at the time that was a good guy, but wasn't overly helpful in what we were doing. And then I realized, and this is part of the video, that it wasn't just the ads. The ad is an ever creating and ever changing thing, but it wasn't the ad that was necessarily the issue. Here's the thing that no one tells you about high ticket closing. Now, high ticket closing is what I like to do. It's group coaching, it's high ticket one-to-one, so I suppose anything over £1,000 a year I'd consider to be high ticket, and that's what we look to do. High ticket closing is challenging. To get someone to get their credit card out and to pay, you've got to build up some trust and rapport, and this is what no one was telling me in it. I was watching people with massive followings, incredible content that they've created over 10 years, and for them, they had built up the trust and the rapport, and closing people was easy. And I was finding that it was really difficult, despite following their best tips and advice that they were doing. So you're going to think about it from the client's perspective. Imagine that you are watching the video. Imagine that you want, or you're from the other side of the camera, if you will, and someone wants to buy your course. You want someone to buy your course or your coaching. So in my case, I want that person to buy property. And then think from their perspective. They've scrolled through Facebook, they've seen the ad, they quite like it. We've discussed their pain point, and I've told them that I've got an outcome for them. But the problem with the internet these days, as good as it is, they've been burnt before. And again, I have been burnt before, but I've also done well and bought courses and like buying courses, but also have been burnt. So there is that trust gap, and the trust gap is what I want us to try start fixing today, and how we fix that trust gap and build a bridge effectively over it. Now, the big creators build that bridge by doing lots of content, by doing 3 or 4 posts a day, and probably spending upwards of £1 million on the different content with content creators, filming studios, and all the equipment with it. So just imagine that you've put the ad out, it's a 30-second video, it's a great one, you're talking pain point outcome, and they've scrolled through and they've clicked on it. Why would that person then book from that ad to booking a call, spend thousands of pounds with you? And I never thought of this like that, which is why it didn't work to start with. And this is what I want to fix in this video for you. So here's the system in 2 parts, right? So part 1 is, as we discussed, it's the ad, right? We've got to get that ad right. We've got to stop them scrolling. We've got to get them to click. So we always talk when I'm starting out in group coaching about the offer. What is the offer? And the offer is crucial because the offer is the pain point, right? So we are looking to create an offer that fixes a pain point. And the more niche you can go, the more drilled in you can go, the better. So for example, in my property coaching business, I coach property. Property is quite broad, but I teach one specific strategy. It's niche. I want to help people build on their savings, for example, from they've started with 1 or 2 or 0 properties. I'm not teaching multiple strategies. I'm going niche. So if you're a fitness person, you want to be able to teach, 30 to 40-year-old dads that are busy working, trying to create their own businesses and be a good dad, how to get a six-pack type thing. Females, it might be, we're teaching busy moms, etc. We want to go into the niche. We want to fix that pain point. And in the ad, we want to speak to that pain point. So your ad has got to be very clear. You've got 3 seconds to get their attention, probably less these days, but you've got about 3 seconds to get their attention. And there you've got to speak to their pain point. You've then got to sprinkle in a little bit of credibility. What have you done before that means you can speak to their pain point? What have you got? What's your experience to say, I can help you with that pain point? And then in it, you've got to tell them the outcome. So what are they going to get out of it? So in 12 weeks, you're going to get your first buy to let in my case. In 12 weeks, we are going to change, for example, if you're a financial officer for hospitality businesses, we are going to change your margins. We're going to make that 5 or 10% extra in net revenue. We're going to speak to that specific point in the ad. You want to make sure, or you want to make it so they feel like you're relatable as well. That you aren't just another flashy Lambo dude guru. You want to be able to speak to their point and they can relate to that so they can build up that tiny little bit of trust within the video. Be you, be credible, and they can speak to you and click on your ad and go through to it. And then you want a very clear call to action. So what are they doing? Are they getting a free PDF guide? Are they clicking onto your website? Are they giving you their email? Or, as I really want them to do, are they booking a call with you or your team? So, very simply put, problem, solution, call to action. They are the 3 parts of the ad, very simply put, that you want to do to try and get that person from stopping to scroll to booking a call with you or your team. Now, here's the crucial part, which I never got right. Content closes. So, I'm not saying that you need 1 million followers and you need to post 17 times a day and you need to be some sort of content influencer. What I'm saying is you need to create a bank of content that will build up that trust between booking that call and getting onto that call and hopefully getting a close or sale. Now, if they land on a funnel, and let's presume you've got a good funnel or a landing page as we call it, and they've booked through to that call, what happens there? When they've booked that call to the call, or even from booking the call to just after it, what are they getting? What are they getting from you? How do they know that they can trust, know, or like you? Or you can even just solve their problem. Because there's so many individual problems that even if they've clicked through to think you could solve it, there's nothing to say that you'll be for them, that they can put their trust in you and put their money in you. However, if they land through and they've booked the call and your content and your videos and your ideas speak to them, the trust and the attendance rate will go through the roof. And at this point, you're probably thinking, well, what content side? There's, content is a broad word. Well, let's take it back very simply. Let's tell them about your story. What have you done and how have you got there? They don't always care about you. They're very much focused on them. But what's your story that they can relate to? Have you got any FAQs, frequently asked questions? Now, when I started my property course, I had frequently asked questions at the gym that I went to. That's how I started the course. The questions I got there started building up that content. Now we get lots of FAQs from our calls, as we do in our Launch Ready system, so we can answer them as before. I think lots of people have even thought about them at times, like we'll go down a page with the FAQs. So we don't want to just create a random bank of content. We want to speak to these people specifically so they can feel and build that trust. And as I said, every piece of content, the trust builds and your authority builds. And the difference is when you've had maybe a bank of 6, 7, 8 videos that are important to them, that speak to the point, explain what you can do, explain how you do it as well. Not just does your show up rate improve, your close rate improves, the trust and love from that person improves, and you have a better chance of closing them on that call. They're less skeptical and they need less convincing just in a one-to-one phone call. I had a client recently for Launch Ready. They came on, said, "Sai, I've watched some of your YouTube videos, I've watched the content, I've watched the videos that you've sent me, I've watched the videos you sent through the email, I've pretty much already made my decision. I want to just speak to you about a few bits." And we closed them within 20 minutes. That is the beauty of having some specific content post-booking of the call once we've gone through the ad system. So that, from what I had to do 2 years ago to now, is gold. And just to really reiterate and really double down on this point, the content is not complicated. We do not need to be Steven Spielberg type quality films. We can set our iPhone up, we can get a little microphone, we can get some half decent lighting, and we can speak to that person as if they are sat in the room. And what sort of things do they want? They want to know the mistakes that other people are making and how you've helped solve them, and how much are you going to help them in terms of money or time or relationships, human beings' real pain points. What's working now in our space? What are the trends and the shifts? What's going on in the marketing world, in my case at the moment? What's going on in the psychology world? What are humans buying into? What can you help them do within your program, your Done For You program, your Done With You program, your one-to-one coaching? How can you help them do it? It's not complicated. We are just speaking human to human through the camera. And the beauty of the content and the beauty of building this out now is the compound effect. A video that you do today might help you close a sale in 6 months' time, because either people have watched it now and still got to build that trust in that time, or they've watched it down the line. Content can be evergreen. So bring it all together. Get ads that attract, be really clear and direct, be personal, be yourself. Talk about a pain point, talk about an outcome, then get a bank of content in behind that can build up that trust and that love. So when you get them on the call, you can close them and you can make your own £30,000 a month high ticket course. If you need some help in creating your high ticket course, click on the link below. If not, I'll see you in the next video.